Just got off the phone with a senior administration official who said at this point that the way the discussions are tracking, that they're hopeful to have an agreement in principle or a solid agreement between all parties involved by the end of today around sunset, is what this official said. Now, there are still several issues to be hammered out, I'm told. One of those is the size and the features of this Main Street lending facility from the Federal Reserve that is going to stand as a complement to the loans coming out of the Small Business Administration. There are still some details about who will qualify for these loans and what the exact size of the package is that are still being worked out. And then at that point, once some of these sticking points are finalized, then negotiators will have to go through every piece of this deal text to make sure that everything checks out the way that they all want it to. So it is unlikely from that estimation that we are going to have a vote tonight, although in Washington, we know that anything can happen. But as of right now, it does not feel like that is the case. As far as the American economy, the White House is canvassing major Wall Street investors to get their take on exactly where things stand in the equity and debt markets and what the Federal Reserve and what the government can do to keep things humming along and moving smoothly. A discussion that the White House convened earlier today featured President Trump, Vice President Pence, and these individuals from Wall Street: Dan Loeb from Third Point, Steve Schwartzman from Blackstone, Robert Smith from Vista Equity, Jeff Sprecher from ICE and the New York Stock Exchange, as well as Paul Tudor Jones. And the discussion ranged from what the economy looks like right now, what the Federal Reserve can do to inject itself potentially even deeper into the credit markets to stop some margin calls, and when exactly the economy could be ripe for reopening. President Trump said earlier today that he is targeting April 12th, Easter, for a date that he would like the economy to reopen by. He told these individuals that the economy can't be shut for 6 months, although he knows it can't reopen tomorrow. Guys?
I was just wondering, Kayla, how that sort of new posture from the president is going down in Washington with other lawmakers. I mean, certainly here, New York Governor Andrew Cuomo did not sound like, he was on board with that idea about reopening the economy. In New York, at least, it's all about saving people's lives, trying to get more hospital beds, trying to get more ventilators. How are other people reacting to this?
Well, it's a delicate dance to walk, Sarah. I mean, I think that there are a lot of officials who acknowledge that the detriments to people's psyche and to the economy would only worsen the longer that people are in isolation. President Trump has mentioned this, too. And Governor Cuomo himself has said that he wants to try to find a solution where you can both protect the public health but also get the economy running again. Today, he suggested a potential solution where you would see young people who have had the coronavirus, who are positive for the antibodies, but who have recovered, that they start going back to work to start getting some of these businesses back up and running again, although that would actually require enough of a critical mass of people to have had the coronavirus to then go back and work. I would also mention, Sarah, this April 12th date that the president has floated, that runs right up against this deadline that Andrew Cuomo is suggesting could be the apex of when New York's cases would hit their highest point. So we'll see if that's a realistic target or goal to have in place, but certainly it's one that the markets are going to be watching closely now.